Monmouthshire sits in a very good location. It is the gateway to Wales, and we feel that we could be a test bed. We could be piloting something that's very exciting for the 21st century and beyond. We spent 3 months working really hard with the money that we've been given from the Welsh Assembly to carry out this feasibility project, this study, to see if we could build 21st century schools for the future.
Children have been taught basically in the same way for maybe 100 years, and it might be quite apt to bring it forward to the 21st century.
Our 4 schools are based in each of the 4 towns: Caldicot, Chepstow, Abergavenny and Monmouth.
Our conclusion is that our secondary building stock, they're all past their sell-by date. They're traditionally built, and they certainly cannot deliver the curriculum of the 21st century.
We're very much stuck in almost a 19th century approach of what a classroom should look like, and it's very regimented. And of course with the foundation phase of Wales, which at the moment is very much a new approach in terms of learning, comprehensive schools need to be able to adjust, because we're going to have a whole range of young people coming forward who are used to learning in a totally different way, and it's very limiting them when they come into a very traditional type of school. And the reality is that we need to change the way we're thinking, and one of the ways we're going to change that way of thinking is to actually physically change the environment in which learning takes place.
I dislike the closedness of the school. I feel kind of constricted, and I think psychologically it doesn't help me express myself as much as I perhaps could.
The buildings are old, we don't have the resources that are suitable for the kind of curriculum that we're following.
It's very, very small, it's very cramped, there's not really many places to go around.
I personally feel we're very cut off from the community, and I think I'd like it more if they were kind of integrated into the school a lot more.
The corridors are too thin, and the equipment's not very new.
The walls are scratched and they're not all the same colour. Probably they're only 2 minutes in between each lesson, where you have to get to your next lesson on time. Because sometimes you go from one end of the school right to the other end, and then you sort of get told off by your teachers for being late.
It doesn't have very good abilities to adjust to the climate conditions as they change, so we have very, very hot times and very cold times because of the times that the radiators are on, but also how the building's positioned and the way that the sunlight comes in.
Over the 3-month period, we've carried a range of consultations, of visioning sessions with head teachers, with pupils, with school councils, with governing bodies. We've met with key partners such as police, healthcare, libraries, leisure staff. We've visited schools in Kent, we've visited schools in Wales. We've also gone further afield to Copenhagen, and we've looked at good practice, best practice, and taken little bits of all of that and put it into our scheme. And we think we're coming up with something pretty special.
We had a meeting with an architect called Helen and a couple of people from Monmouthshire County Council, and they showed us loads and loads of different cards of pictures of schools that have been designed. I think they were primarily in Denmark.
We got asked our points of view on lots of different entrances, different canteens, how classrooms could be, how our auditoriums could be, and we all had our say on what kind of designs suited us.
And then here we are now today, thinking about whether it can actually happen.
The development of community campuses is something I'm pretty passionate about, because it pulls together a whole series of resources and it gives learning a different feeling for the community. Because if you have a centre which is not a school but is a community resource, then there are opportunities for engaging adults, for engaging those people who are in their early 20s, for bringing in the university of the third age into a resource which is integral, are enhanced. And if you link that to the sort of community resources that we are planning on having in the community campus, then it also brings in employment, it brings in opportunities which complement the learning.
We'll enrich our model with deep and lasting partnerships with other public sector organisations drawn from communities such as the police and health.
Many of these things are present in our schools, but they're not designed in a way that is really fit for purpose for not only education in 2010, but for the next 25, 30, 40 years. Without forgetting, of course, the huge issue of information technology and actually, being ahead of students rather than playing catch-up.
It's revolutionary here because it's system change. It's about a whole county, 4 centres of population and a large rural community moving together as one. But it's also revolutionary because it's about the fact that a lot of the thinking about pedagogy has already taken place and is reaching the limits of what it can do within the current environment that we have.
Our secondary schools have a strong tradition of looking at research and development into what has been best practice in teaching and learning, and have sought to collaborate amongst the schools on that. They're now looking increasingly to the future and looking for next practice and to develop what will be appropriate in the 21st century.
Round, because circles bring communities together. So I think round and spacious and light and just one big space, multi-purpose.
I really like the idea of the flexible space. Like when we had the meeting, there was lots of different designs that had like flexible walls, so you could have like 2 smaller rooms or 1 big room to do like workshops and stuff like that.
I think colour is important.
I think it's really important to have a sustainable school, so like it would last longer.
It'd be very modern, it'd be very light, it'd be airy, it'd be very comfortable, it'd be inviting.
It would be amazing if we had those big theatres and big football pitches and big lab departments where you can do crazy experiments in. I think that would be really nice.
Well, I'd like to see a place that you want to come back to after school hours and you'd be able to come back, and it to be really high-tech but not too dependent on electricity and things, so I have like open windows and all and lots of nature.
Rather than changing the old ICT room, we can make it into a more interactive learning area.
Everyone's obviously learning, but everyone's developing skills, not just GCSEs and A-levels, they're developing life skills.
I really like the idea of being able to work outdoors. I know in Wales it's a bit difficult, but I really like the idea of being able to learn in lots of different environments and not just be stuck in one, you know, traditional kind of classroom.
And it's not just about the building, it's about the ICT, it's about technology-rich inside and out, but it's about offering flexible, bulletproof spaces for the future to enable us to adapt, to take the curriculum forward into the 21st century and beyond.
It also means we've got the opportunity with technology to actually bring other countries into the classroom, and it's going to have could have a dramatic impact on the way in which young people learn.
Very different relationship, I think, in the 21st century school between teachers and children. Teachers need to become, and are becoming in this school now, facilitators of learning. No longer have we got teachers just giving information. Information is available to everybody at the press of a button.
It's about agencies working together to understand the needs of the young person and to address those needs in a holistic way.
And these youngsters tell us we learn best, Mist, when we're engaged and can actually say, well, we'd like to do that role play today. We'd prefer to do this piece of group work because I think we're going to get more from that research topic. And when we've trialled those sort of situations where we've listened to learners, converted the lesson slightly, the learning outcomes have been significantly greater. And that's why that whole shift in the culture of teaching and the role of teacher-pupil and pupil-teacher needs to be emancipated and facilitated structurally by the environment, because the power of learning is crucial and the outcomes are significantly higher.
Well, I thought that stuff was just going to be in universities that I'd be using in 7 years' time, but I've learnt now that I could be using it within 2 years.
I'd be speechless.
It's absolutely amazing.
Monmouthshire has worked hard over the last 5 years in improving dramatically its primary school estate. Young people are benefiting from those investments. We are seeing it every day. The time is now right for Monmouthshire to move on to its secondary challenge. It's arguably a bigger challenge, but it is the right challenge for now. We're ready for it, and we have a track record that gives me confidence that we can deliver.
There's a lot of hard work going on, but if you just focus that hard work in a building that's fit for purpose, built for the job, then I think the outcomes could be absolutely tremendous and very exciting. And don't those students deserve that? They only get one chance.
And I'm convinced that within a very short turnaround, WAG would see that, my goodness, Monmouthshire said they could do it, and they've done it.
We are ready. I am ready personally, my project team members are ready, and we are ready as a council.
I'm ready.
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 I'm ready.